Justice League Dark, issue 6, James Tynion the fourth, with art by Daniel Semper.
Semper's Wonder Woman is phenomenal.
Yes.
I mean, the art's great throughout, but specifically his Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I like his Z. His Zatanna's pretty great too.
So we're in the mirror. And basically Chimp.
Hold on, we're not. You made it sound like we're in a mirror, but we're in Mirror.
I told you this last time that the way I say mirror, it sounds like mirror, and that's why I didn't want to say it that way. But here we are. We're in mirror.
Egg sounds like egg is what I basically just heard. Pete. So.
So Chimp messed up by trying to bring back Nightmaster, and instead he basically enacted that everyone who was dead in Mirror would keep coming back. So there's this skeleton.
He broke death.
Yes, he broke death. Yeah. There's a skeleton army attacking the castle.
I like that basically Chimp tricked Blue Devil into taking his place as the defender of Mira, and then him talking to the Justice League Dark and being like, yeah, so I'm basically just an actor and not a great one at that, and I've had to act like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The entire time. I loved that turn.
What touch I liked about Chimp? I liked the idea. He asked for like mead at one point and say, "Well, you're going to drink when you're doing this, like, spell that's going to fix the world." He's like, "No, seriously, it helps me think because my intelligence is so high that when I read a certain word, I'll think of it every other time I've read it. I need the alcohol to dull that out so I can focus."
Yeah, it was when Wonder Woman passes the flask through the jail cell, and he's like, "Oh, what's that?" She goes, "Mead." She said, "Bless you."
And then she rips off the cell door, or not even the door, just the whole,
just the wall.
Yeah, just the whole thing.
Wall.
Yeah.
And I like too. Pete always says that you can do magic really well when you establish the rules. Mm-hmm. And here, how they compared the magic in our world. It's like it's a little tiny bit, but in Mirror, it's the whole thing. So one little thing goes wrong in a spell, and it completely uproots that entire world. So I like that Tynion's, he's establishing just how different it is there. Also, Blue Devil looking at Man-Bat and going, "Isn't he a Batman villain?" And him going, "Hey, the serum was wrong. I don't want to eat any of your guys' faces right now, so we're good." Like, I love Man-Bat more and more each issue.
Nah, that was good. So no, I enjoyed the issue. I didn't love it. It's still not reached the height of the first 3 for me since we did the crossover.
This arc is back up for me. Like, this is top.
I like these 2 issues, and then so Detective Chimp, we find out that he broke death and whatnot by trying to take the cheap way out, but his mission's still not over because he has to pass the sword to Nightmaster's actual son.
Yeah, we find out
somewhere.
So this is his get out. This is why he's not going to be saddled with us forever. There's a son to pass it on to. So.
Allegedly, he doesn't really believe it. He's like, "No, I can't find him.
It'll happen. We'll find him."
Oh, I will. Yeah.
But it's a mystery, and Detective Chimp loves the mystery, and so I love that. And then we got so Connor's our resident Dr. Fate fan.
Yes.
So Naboo, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in the helm.
He is the helm, yeah, kind of.
Right. So there's no one perceivably in that body, right? Like, it's just basically clothes moving around by itself.
No, I think it's Kent Nelson.
Yeah,
but he's been possessed by when Naboo. Yeah, Naboo's locked Kent Nelson.
Because I was going to question actually when he takes off the helmet at one point. I thought, wait, shouldn't Nelson be back in control then when the helmet's off?
And that's what I thought too. So that's why I thought, well, no, he's just the costume running around.
I think it's just at that point Naboo's just like, no, okay. I'm in control here. Then the helmet, it's still extending.
Yeah, because him and the Phantom Stranger are basically duking it out magically throughout the issue.
Yeah.
And then eventually Constantine kind of sacrifices himself and says, "No, Swamp Thing, get out. We need you to win this." So Swamp Thing goes to the rest of the team.
Yeah. Notably, no body. But I'm okay if this Constantine's gone. Yeah.
Well, no,
back over to Vertigo.
But did he get pulled into the helm like Phantom Stranger did?
Yeah. So I guess technically it's not death anyway. He could come back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is like in those movies where the villain allows themselves to get caught so he can work it from the inside.
Yeah.
I feel that's what Constantine did. But also, we were wondering if Phantom Stranger was still the New 52 version. of Judas, and this was his penance, for what he did. I don't think so, because they made mention like Stranger's been, on Earth even before Earth was a thing.
Yeah. This is this. I think this is the retcon, because up until when you asked me last issue, I had not seen anything to contradict that it had changed. That it wasn't the New 52 version. Right. This doesn't feel like that now, though. This feels like the classic, eternal entity.
Yeah, and I like that, because I like that he kind of represents Earth and of itself and whatnot. But like the whole idea of there's only a few people that could ever go toe to toe with Phantom Stranger, but one of them was always Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
And you just get that moment that he absorbs him into the helm. You're like, oh man. So this Lords of Order stuff is like, I'm really, really digging.
Yeah.
So.
So Constantine writes a message to Zatanna through blood, some wrist cutting.
Some blood magic. Like.
Classic Constantine.
Saying find Mordo. So that's
that makes me excited.
What they're going to be on the hunt for next issue, presumably.
Yeah.
Because I just read the first chunk of the Robinson and John's JSA, and Mordru factors really heavily in there.
Yeah.
So, and he was going after the Fate Child.
Yeah, he's a big part of that first arc in the tower, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, really good stuff. So I think for me, obviously, I don't love the magic stuff as much as you do. And I think for me, the first half of this issue was a little bit heavy on the word balloons. Very dense word balloons as well. And I say that because, sometimes when you're reading a comic, and especially when you've got a 2-page layout, and this is not strange to Tynion's writing, but sometimes the screen will start to like go dark because I've not touched anything in a while, because it's been taking so long to read. That happened to me in this book on a single page. And it's never happened to me before on a one-page, page, if you know what I mean, like a single page layout. And it happened to me.
He's a student of Snyder, right? Like, so.
And I was near the end of it. Don't get me wrong, when it started to fade out, and I had to tap it to make it light up again. But it's never happened to me in a single page before, and I'm like, kill it with the exposition. Stop. That's all I'm saying. Just kill it down a little bit.
I didn't notice it being a problem.
I didn't either.
I feel like so many of the books I read this week had such good pacing. I felt the pacing in the first half of this one just felt a little bit chuggy because of it.
Okay. I guess it's one of those things where I was into what it was saying or what the dialogue was, so I didn't feel it. Whereas, if you're not as into it, it's much more of a problem, right?
I know this is a Justice League book, but it feels like one of those weird ones I would have read in the mid-2000s, like that nobody else was reading, kind of like Demon Knights. In that way where they're odd characters, there's not really, or even Secret Six.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to be thrown together. It's just like, hey, this is cool.
Or Grayson's Outsiders was like that too.
Yeah.
So, and I get that vibe from this team, and I like learning about all of them.
Yeah.
And what they do. So, I want to know what Swamp Thing and Constantine's plan was, because the idea that those two are being forced to work together is
classic, isn't it?
I really liked Tracy 13. Like, Bobo comes back and he's like, get us some drinks, and she's like, nah, I'm done for the night. I'll see you tomorrow. Piss off.
Yeah.
I dig that. Anyway, all right, so let's rate the book then. Matt, what are you giving it?
Yep, this was an 8. I'm just handing them out this week.
Apparently so. Connor?
I'm going with 8.5. It worked for me.
Yeah, I'm going with a 7 on this. I still liked it. I still stuff I like. I like Chimp a lot. I like some of the stuff that it's doing. But I'm not as big in some of the mythology stuff as a lot of this magic side of things. Particularly here where it's not necessarily horror, because the other kind, like they're terrifying and scary and like this mysterious thing. Whereas the mirror stuff is a bit more Wizard of Ozzy.
Yeah, I don't know. When that page with all the skeletons charging at them, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm so into this.
Little Army of Darkness, that's sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Missing Bruce Campbell to make it pop though. But and then I thought it was a bit wordy, especially in the first half.
Bruce Campbell is Detective Chimp.
Oh, he could voice Detective Chimp. I can see that.
Yeah.